If the whole world decided to throw out all other sports and have kids constantly practice only basketball, who would be the best at it then? Would America even be close? 6 times in a row now, the NBA MVP was born outside of the United States. We're about to be running on 7 years since James Harden showed any patriotism for the red, white, and blue, and that is absolute uncharted territory for the league. Why is this happening? And is it gonna continue? Or is this just some Linsanity run of foreign stars? Let's find out. Oh, and before you rush to call me a silly nincompoop, yes, Joel Embiid is a dual citizen of Cameroon and America, despite being born in Cameroon, and Steve Nash was born in South Africa, but quickly made his way to Canada on account of the Nash family being diehard Justin Bieber fans even 2 decades before he was born. But today, there's been more internationally born MVPs in the last 6 seasons than the previous 62 combined. And this isn't a super unfounded stat. The NBA has been home to foreign players from its early roots, with Hank Biasetti being the first to break the country barrier. Hank actually played in the first NBA game ever before it was called the NBA, meaning they were international from the jump. And this was years before the first MVP was even awarded. However, sort of like TikTok, we're only starting to see the effects of basketball exploding on a worldwide level. With TikTok, that means dwindling attention spans and fried brain receptors, but for basketball, it's a mass migration of non-American talent just starting to flood the league. Business Insider reports that in the 1981 NBA season, a scarce 1.7% of the NBA was born without bald eagles flying over their heads. By 1998, that number was up to 7.6%, and in 2016, it had blown up to over a quarter of the league not being able to order a bacon cheeseburger with donut bread in their country of birth. Of course, this is nothing but a good thing for the sport of basketball. Seeing the game grow on a global level is only going to bring better players and a higher level of play as the NBA shifts closer to becoming the IBA. But for us salty Americans, it's also sad to see other people beat us in our own peach basket pastime. Look at soccer, a sport that has long achieved worldwide popularity and has the equivalent of the MVP in the Ballon d'Or award. Funny enough, this award also dates back to exactly 1956, same as the NBA MVP, but with about 50 times more diversity in its winners. This is what basketball wants to look like, and it's where it's trending towards. In reality, basketball might not even be as far off as it seems. Going all the way back to 2005, players of 6 different nationalities have won the Ballon d'Or. That exact same stat is true with the MVP. That's kinda the shocking part in the NBA, not that international players are winning MVP, more so how fast they have taken over the award. Like Spain in the late 1400s, these guys walked in and colonized America. It's also worth noting that only 3 individuals have won the past 6 awards, with Nikola Jokic himself now having more MVPs than any other country besides America. But on that same note, you have to include Slovenian Luka Doncic, who hasn't yet but seems likely to bring home an MVP. There's also Victor Wembanyama, a Frenchman who hasn't even entered his limitless prime, not to mention fellow baguette eater Rudy Gobert, who for the last 7 years has had a better chance at winning Defensive Player of the Year than an average player has to make any shot. Even this year, there's 3 more Europeans projected as top 10 picks. Sure, statistically, 2 of them will be horrible, but that leaves 1 to revolutionize basketball and play in a way we've never seen before. We are quite literally being invaded by a different term. I heard it when I said it. Now, this isn't to say there's no young American talent in the league either to defend from an invasion. That too is arguably at an all-time high, which is why it's going to be interesting to see how the future plays out. 50 years from now, I imagine the NBA MVP list will look a lot more like this. But contrary to the last 6, I don't think we're there yet. To me, this stat demonstrates that the rest of the world is coming, but in an exaggerated manner. The states are losing their lead, but this is brought on by a few specific standout players. Which leaves us with a couple big questions. Who will be the next American-born player to win MVP? And more importantly, are any countries better at basketball than America? Let me know what you guys think. Thanks, team. Well, hey, I see you're about to click off the video, but before you do that, have you ever wondered where Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game footage is? Or how to watch Super Bowl I in its entirety? If so, you should check out this documentary I made on lost media in sports. I might be a little biased, but I think it's pretty cool.